Yo, what's up, people? What's up? My love just hit me up and said, "Where you at, man?" I'm like, "Man, I'm right here." I was on the computer and I ain't seen nobody come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that at least one person want to see what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what happened, but I don't know. I don't do Facebook Live enough. So noted, don't do it on your MacBook Pro because for some reason the people ain't connecting. I don't know. So I'm on my phone. We gonna rock out until my phone die. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, what's up, Harry? How you doing, fam? Tell you the right, you can't turn your phone while live. Oh man, come on, man. What's going on? Okay, okay. So y'all was waiting for you, boy. Y'all was waiting. Y'all was waiting. I know, right? I know. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. What's up, folk? What up? What up? So listen, if y'all just tuning in, I was on my MacBook Pro. I mean, I had a whole intro for y'all and everything, and yeah, apparently you couldn't find me. It didn't let you know that I was live, so I had to switch to my phone. You know, what's up, Jess? What's up? What's up? Um, so yeah, I had an intro for y'all and everything. So I'm gonna have to switch up my game a little bit, but it's all good. Matter of fact, let me do a sound check. Uh, let me do something real quick.
Artist World MG. Disconnected. Ready to
All
go.
right, can
Connected
y'all
to
hear me? Can
Jastin
can
MacBook
everybody
Pro.
hear me? Y'all good? Please let me know right now before I continue. See, I do apologize, man. We there, we there, we here. Y'all hear me? Let me know something. Let me know something. What's up, Todd? What up, man? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Loud and clear. Okay, bet. That means I might need to come down a little bit. Yeah, y'all. So listen, we um we in session two of the Separation album online listening party, and I'm thankful for y'all tuning in, spending time with me for maybe an hour or so. I don't know. However it go, it go. Um, so invite your friends, hit them up, tell them like, yo, you need to hear this, especially if they home trying to hide out from the Halloween stuff, you know. Um, but listen, I made a first video. You know, I done thank God. I done thank my babe. You know, I had a little intro with my song Florence. You know what I'm saying, to get myself hyped because it's been a long day at work. But you know, I had to switch things up a little bit. You know what I mean? So um, it's all good. It's all good. So listen, tonight we're discussing um, the Separation album. It's my new album about a whole lot of things that has happened to me in like the last 4 or 5 years. Um, so tonight's topic is a broken marriage, and I talk a lot of my pain and my feelings and what happened to me, this and that and the third, from being married, and now you know, a couple of years into divorce, and you know, we're gonna hit some topics, you know, within that. So first, I'm gonna shout out my host Whitney B. Again, she couldn't be here tonight. You know, last week, if you was with us, she had a serious toothache, and so she got that worked on. Matter of fact, today, and you know, I told her she was really, y'all. She was really like probably would have been on with gauze in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Um, what's up, babe? Uh, so I told her, nah, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's cool. Like, I took it down last week. We're gonna do it again this week. So shout out to her, and shout out God again. Y'all missed that earlier, but I love him and I'm thankful for what he's doing in my life, and I just thank him for being able to give me the guts to do what I'm doing right now, and hopefully help somebody out there right now, okay? I shouted out my love, Courtney, babe. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being you and being with me on this journey, and showing me really that relationships can be something great. So I really, really, really love you for that. I want to shout out my son too, y'all, because today, we all know it's Halloween. I don't really celebrate Halloween like that. I was just having a conversation with my best friend about, he was telling me what today really means, and so I'm glad to be giving y'all some real spiritual goodness right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you in the crib eating your candy, we gonna get to it. You know what I mean? But I just shout out my son Jace. I miss him. I love him. I don't know if he was dressed up as a superhero or what. If he made a pumpkin in school, or what. But I just say it and acknowledge him, that I love him, that I miss him, and he's the reason why I do what I do. So listen, I appreciate everybody that's coming in. I'm gonna kind of give y'all a walkthrough of how we doing it, and again, shout out to those Bow Tie Wednesday. You know what I mean? I'm pretty fly today, y'all. I'm pretty fly today. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I'm gonna set the album up a little more for those that haven't come in. We'll say, I don't want to mess up your name, Lavandia. Did I say it? Or I could just say Lala. I see that. My bad. Lala, what's up? Set up a little bit about what the album is for the newcomers. Then we're gonna get to the first song. We have some questions, so prepare your questions right now. Okay, get your questions ready. My host sent me her questions for the night, so I'm gonna start with those. Then I'll see what y'all have. We'll take a little break. I got some announcements to make, and then we'll go to the next song. I'll answer some questions from my host, and then I'll take y'all questions. So please rock with me, vibe with me, keep me engaged with questions or anything that you want to say. We had a good time last week, so I expect nothing less. Be sure to let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. All right. So The Separation. All right. This is an album that I have written over the last 4 years, mostly nearly 4 years ago. It's about my life. I was married, and I quickly became unmarried due to a false claim of domestic violence, and then it's been on and popping from there, and I don't mean that in a good way. Just from that, it just moved on to now. I've been fighting to be involved in my son's life, and I learned so much from being married. But then, tonight's topic of broken marriage, like, well, what happened? Why did we break up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what caused that? I got married to continue to stay married. So this album really covers all of these things, man. And I want to shout out Will and Jada Smith for their Red Table Talk. If you have not seen it, you need to see it ASAP, especially if you're married, especially if you're going through marriage, you know what I'm saying? Like, tough times in your marriage. What's up, B? It is really insightful. And I feel like I'm going to be reverting back to that a lot, because when I watched it, I was like, that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt, So yeah, we gonna get into it. I see a lot of stuff going on here, man. Like, people coming in and out, dropping off, dropping back in, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully everything is good. Let me check my connection and everything, y'all. Let me check, because I messed up earlier, you know what I'm saying? Let me see.
They marvel in all of what you do.
Hey.
The odds that even out in your
What y'all know about that TDK?
Their darkness gives color to
I'm just
your
doing a
glow.
sound check real quick, okay?
They think you can make it, they think you can shake it.
Think it's a game day. Watch you play. They don't think you can do it, so you do it.
They don't think you can do it, so you do it.
They think you can't make it. They think you can't shake a bank. It's a game.
Watch you play.
Alright, so that should be pretty good, right? Yeah, man. Somebody find the link. You know, I ain't gonna try to do too many things at once, but find the Red Table Talk link. There's a part 1 and there's a part 2. Both are equally good, but part 2 is the truth. So definitely check that out. Even after your time with me, check it out. It's something serious, man. So listen, get your questions ready. All right. I set y'all up. I let y'all know what's going on, what we doing, what the album's about. All right. We did 2 songs last week. We're doing 2 tonight. And we have 2 more sessions, to carry us into November before Thanksgiving. So right now, I'm about to play you the first record. It's called They Go Deep. And just to give you an idea of what it's about, honestly, it's about having all of these emotions and feelings, and they go deeper than what you really thought when it first came to you. Like men, when your lady act some type of way or do something, it kind of strike you like, really though? And you go on about your business, and then later you find out like, yo, I'm still like that really bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Women, we do the same thing to y'all. Like we say something, how y'all do sometimes, and you don't express how you feel until like 2 years later when you be like, yo, you remember when you did? And you be like, why you ain't say something to me then? So They Go Deep is really my feelings of my marriage and certain things that was happening and from moments that I can remember, but then, obviously the moments of being on the verge of divorce because of a domestic violence thing, to then now I can't see my kid, and it's a lot of things. So it's a deep joint. Shout out to Perry, shout out to Mike. What up? Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. So we're gonna play the first song, They Go Deep. Get your questions ready, all right? Harry, my sound guy, let me know if you need me to turn it up, all right? All right, here we go.
Sometimes you can't accept love because you can't handle the love you don't give yourself. Now that's deep. There's beauty in my ashes, they go deep. They go deep, they go deep. There's pain in my beauty, they go deep. They go deep, they go deep. Oh Lord, set me free, set me free. Now that's deep, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep. I got pain in this smile, run the struggles. War on the music, hustle, royal messing image, I confess. Let it burn like Usher showing you down the aisle. Okay. Dirty secrets and fashion, check my style. Check it out. Color coordinated to the fitness, no more I hate it, I'm pacing, yeah. Call me Paul George, I'm breaking, exercise the truth I'm facing. Beautiful inside, call me Jason, creating an atmosphere without fear. Can you see what's near? Right. Tripping over feelings that you made, no ownership to take. Now you know there's beauty in everything. Wait for the change, that big bang. Color me bad and picture what you hate. I'm on the deep end of the Shark Tank. Many things. Thank you. Fire called smoke and ashes. Yeah, I get too hot, I'm crashing. Yeah. Beauty in my pain shines light, hits my glasses. Impressive aggression with tested every lesson. Learn I stay connected. I'm the head of the fish, but disrespected. Yes, there's beauty in my ashes. They go deep, they go deep, they go deep. There's pain in my beauty. They go deep, they go deep, they go deep. Oh Lord, set me free, set me free. Now that's deep, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep. My ashes, they go deep, they go deep, they go deep. There's pain in my beauty, they go deep, they go deep, they go deep. Oh Lord, set me free, now that's deep, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep. I got beauty in my ashes, dark tint and hope, rich and dope. That's coolness for my traditional folks. Yeah. Bucket list of conflict every time I try bad timing. Yeah. On the clock like a battery to seek the highest of majesty. God, yeah, I rep the throne. I'm a man, Aggie, pride my home. Call me a dog, I don't share my bone. Structure to express what's inside. Truth was holding lies. Was it real love? Word to Mary J. Blige. Was it? Hearts broken, hard to laugh. Kept in my intestines. I was in deep professing. Yes. Started out as a blessing. Yeah. Ended to a close call to resting. Yeah. Protected beauty is stressing. Yeah. Distracted by my job, you texting. Yes. Going with the wind, you reckless. Yeah. Split from a dog, got my own segment. Yeah. Back to volume one single weapon. Yeah. Fought for the yard, I'm catching. Really going for my dream, I'm stretching. Gotta get back to the best me. Beauty at its best is me. So see my ashes only as my beauty. There's beauty in my ashes, they go deep. They go deep, they go deep. There's pain in my beauty, they go deep. They go deep, they go deep. Oh Lord, set me free, set me free. Now that's deep, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep. There's beauty in my ashes, they go deep, they go deep, they go deep. There's pain in my beauty, they go deep, they go deep, they go deep. Oh Lord, set me free, set me free. Now that's deep, 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 that's deep.
Ooh, yeah, man. Oh man, what? I mean, every song on this album to me does something to me, but that joint really, it just does something to me, man. Yo, Montreal, what up? What up? Miss Sheila, hey, how you doing? There's a lot going on in that little bit of time. So yeah, man, that song, I mean, for me, it came to me when I was in the shower, the hook, and it's a beat I had for a minute. Shout out to Jamel from loudrapbeats.com, and it was different. I felt like people expected to do like an R&B type thing to it, and once I got that hook, man, I knew immediately. I don't know. I think I was just thinking about Beauty for Your Ashes, and it just kind of came to me after I got that part and I got the melody, and then it just I knew what I had to talk about, and it just kind of flowed out, man. So it's crazy. I'm gonna get to my man Harry's questions first before I go to my girl Whitney, who sent me her questions. That's the host, y'all. Give much love to her for wanting to do this with me. She got a toothache, so she went to the dentist today, got it taken care of, you know what I mean? So I'm holding it down for her. So Harry says, which event during marriage inspired this song? I think the whole marriage, like the whole thing. So one of the big things that that I love about relationship is communication, like being able to talk to your partner about anything and everything, and being able to be vulnerable enough that, no pun intended because it's Halloween, but you don't have a mask on. You know what I mean? And so I went from, being married, it's all good, we have a child, it gets even better. Mind you, I was a stepdad before we had our child, so that was a great thing. To then all of a sudden things start changing. We're not communicating. We're not doing what I fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing everything that I can to communicate. I'm in these challenging moments, I'm researching stuff on how to better communicate, and none of it is working. I'm reading the 5 Love Languages for Marriage. It's a book that most people tell you to read. I'm reading it and rereading it. I'm doing all these things, and I'm still like unhappy. And I'm holding my tongue. I'm not saying anything. And then after months and months and months and months and months, I can blow up. And it's like, this is frustrating. This is so frustrating. So it was like, this song for me was, a lot of people are surface. You know what I mean? They don't, perfect example, they don't say what they need to say. You ask your homie, your homegirl, whatever, hey, how you doing? Whatever. I'm fine, whatever. You know doggone well that they not fine. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the whole process of what I went through in marriage to get from the moment that I asked to now I've been kicked out of my house unwillingly. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. Now I can't even spend time with the kids. Like, this is a lot of deep stuff. It's heavy. But at the same time, I saw beauty in it. Even when I was writing this, like literally I was in the shower and this melody came to me, the words came to me, and I started to write it. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I was crying through some of it because I was remembering all the things that I had been through, and it was tough. But it was like, yo, there's beauty in this, but there's pain in my beauty. Like right now, y'all see me flying in the mud right now, okay? You see me, right? But there's still some pain underneath this smile, you know, in reference to my son. You know what I'm saying? So it's we all go through it, and so I wanted to really really highlight that. You know what I mean? So again, y'all, get your questions ready. Get your questions ready. I'm about to ask some of the questions that my host Whitney B asked. So the first question she has is, how is the topic reflected in your music and in this current album? So, broken marriage, I mean, I think as artists, you know what I'm saying? If you are connected to an artist, somehow, some way, you are reflected in the music. You know, hopefully you're a muse, and you inspire us to create and give us things that we could talk about. You know, so when I first got removed from my home, it was probably about 6 months. I did no music at all. I didn't play my guitar. I didn't write. I didn't do anything. And I really didn't want to do anything. Like, it really took the life out of me. And anyone that knows me, I mean, I eat, breathe, sleep music. Like, that's my core. So for me to not do it in a long period of time, it was pretty rough. So when I did start to write again, everything that's coming out is my feelings. You know, I'm being mindful of what I'm saying. You know, like, I could have, with all the things that were done to me during that 6-month time frame, that I know I would have held myself accountable had I like really done something. It could have came out a different way. You know, I could be just ratchet, disrespectful, all this stuff, right? But it was just coming out and just my feelings, like the truth. This is how I feel. This is like, you know, music is just different when you have to put it in a way that's like, okay, this is it. And so it started to come out in that way. And then when I realized that God wanted me to make an album and actually put it out, it's like, I didn't really think too much on what I wanted to write. I just let the music flow. You know, I'm lyrical. That's like really my gift. So I just said, you know what? I'm not going to think about anything that I'm writing. I'm just going to write it and then go back to it. Then we'll figure out, okay, do I really want to say that? Do I really want to put myself out there like that? So that's kind of how I weighed that. Let's see, what's up? Yeah, what up? Harry, the only person with questions, y'all. What's good? Let's see. Were any lines in the track that you cut out? If so, why the choice to cut? Oh, that's a good question. I had the lyrics pulled up just so I can read it. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. I don't think there's anything in here particularly, but on some of the songs of the album, and then there were certain songs that I did that I put out that really shared the story. Like, if y'all go look up Honest Mistake, that was probably like one of the first records I did that I thought would be on the project. And it's like talking about how I felt like my whole situation was an honest mistake. Like, the reason why I was an honest one was because I was real with what I did, what I didn't do, and I accepted it. But it was a mistake because who wants to get married and then be divorced on some craziness? You know what I mean? So anytime that I kind of talk about domestic violence or I talk about the truth of what happened, that was something that I'd battled with a lot because, one, even though I was done wrong, I didn't do anything to warrant what happened to me. You know, at the time, I was still a husband. You know, like that first year that I wrote majority of this album, we were separated. So I was still technically her husband. And I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to be a gentleman. I've never, like, I'm raw in my music and I get down to the nitty gritty. I get deep. I go below the surface. But this is like a whole nother, you know, so I battle with referencing, like, I was married, but now it's done. You know what I'm saying? Talking about domestic violence, talking about being a father who doesn't get to see his child. Like, a lot of those lines were really like, I don't know, God, if I really want to go that far. And he just kept pulling me to go that far. So it was really like, and I'll give you an example here. I do have one. I was deep in everyday professing. Started out as a blessing. Ended to a close call arresting. Protecting beauty is stressing. Distracted by my drive, you texting. Gone with the wind, you reckless. Split from it all, got my own segment. Back to volume 1, single repping. Like, that part right there, aside from the alliteration in that, that was tough for me. But it was real and it was the truth, you know, and that's what I had to just say, you know what, I'm giving the truth, so I can't worry about how people may feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did, you know. I'm gonna do one more question from Whitney B, and then I'm gonna do a quick announcement on some things that I got going on. All right. I appreciate that, Harry, man. You asking good questions. What's up, people? I see some more people online. What's up? Y'all ain't got no questions? Y'all chilling? Y'all good? All right. So her next question is: do you believe that one's childhood and upbringing play a major factor in their idea of marriage and relationships? What? If I had a crowd button, I would be like, so I'm gonna read that again. Do you believe that one's childhood and upbringing play a major factor in their idea of marriage and relationships? Oh, most certainly. It's so good I messed up saying my answer. Listen, again, I go back to Will and Jada Smith, Red Table Talk session from Monday. That was part 2. Last week, part 1. They talk about this a lot. And the thing that I learned, even when I was like getting married, you know, the planning, all of this stuff, right? One of the things I kept asking was, don't do this for show. Are you inviting people that you really want here? Because I felt like I've always felt that we do things out of tradition and don't even know why we do them. Perfect example, Thanksgiving is coming up. You cooking the traditional whatever, and you don't even know why you cooking it. You just doing it because that's what your family did. That's what they've been doing for years and years and years. Let's take racism, for example. Same thing. You grow up in that. You doing it because that's what you see your parents doing. That's what you see your cousins doing. But nobody knows why. So when it comes to marriage, to me, it's like, okay, one, like everybody wants to be in a church most of the time, right? What do you really want to be in a church? You know what I mean? Or is that just because that's what we've seen it as? That's what we're taught. That's the way we see it around the world, TV, movies, whatever. And so I think another great thing to this, another part to this question for me is I grew up with my twin and my mom. My dad wasn't, they've divorced when I was 2. And so my mom made it a point that we communicated growing up. Like we would have family dinner, every night, like 6, 7 o'clock. We sit at the table, talk, ask each other how our day was, all of this. You get in trouble at the table, whatever the case is, right? She didn't grow up that way. So it was interesting for me that at the beginning I connected with her because of communication. We could talk. We could like really talk about things. And then when everything started to go haywire before the drama happened, and then thereafter, communication was obsolete. It didn't happen. Like I had to probe and ask questions so many times, And I remember one of the things that she used to say a lot was, you grew up talking in your family and I didn't. So it's like, it's not easy for me to do. And that really blew my mind the first time I heard it, because it sounded like it was used as an excuse, even though I could understand it. But the thing that I try to tell people too is like, just because your parents do things when you were growing up doesn't mean that you have to do it. And so you have to be strong enough and have a mindset to be like, yo, how did that work out for me? How has, what my parents done or who I grew up with or who raised me affected me? And do I agree with it as an adult? And if you find yourself not agreeing with it, then you have to change it. You know what I mean? So I think there was a lot of different things that differed between the two of us, that for some reason at some point it disconnected us. But I tell people all the time, like when it comes to communication, I understand the importance if I don't communicate to you how I'm feeling. That's why I share it. That's why I'm vulnerable. You know what I mean? It ain't that it's easy. I understand the importance of it, and the importance of it outweighs any of the feelings that I feel. I could feel uncomfortable. I could feel really sad. It doesn't matter. You have to think about it that way. So, again, Whitney's Oprah out this joint, and she's not even here. She's killing it. Let's see. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to take a quick break for some announcements, and then we're going to get back into it. All right. Brian Maurice, do you feel your music is a release for the pain you endured, or a platform to express a cry that went unheard? It's both. I don't want to say this and disrespect anyone, but there's different types of music. My music is not club music. My music is not headbangers in the way that you would play, at a typical party or something like that, right? But it is an expression. And, the music that's really about something other than just like a good party feeling or what have you, you're trying to release something. You're trying to take out what's in, you know what I'm saying? You take all of this emotions and put it in a song. I didn't realize that after I felt like the album was done, I've written all these songs, that it was a cry that went unheard. It was my way of, saying like everything that I've said in these songs, I've said to her, right? But I haven't said it in this way. And because music transcends, it's like when I go back to listen to it, even at its stage now, its final stage, it's like, man, I was really hurt. You know what I mean? Like I was really hurt. And then you start to analyze it and figure it out that like, hey, I am a black man in America and I hurt. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of that. So a lot, men were taught not to show our feelings. We're told not to cry, especially in situations like this. Oh, you can't do this because you don't want her to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's truth to that, but I serve an ultimate God, and all I can say is that people are gonna do what they want to do, but I'm covered, so I'll cry out and say what I need to say because I know there's other people going through it. There's other people that feel the exact same way that I do, and they kept it in, and that's why they snapped on them. That's why they did. That's why they don't want to see the kids no more. Not because they don't love their kids, but they can't withstand all the stuff that happened. They didn't do anything about it. They never really said it, and it's easy to just walk away. It's easy just not to say nothing. So that's a great question. Great question. Hey, love, I see that your question just came up, but we're going to get to it right after these messages. So listen, y'all, I'm going to just take a quick moment to let y'all know what I got going on down the list right now. So listen, me and my brother Brian Maurice of Brian Maurice Branding and Imaging. I think I got that right? We have gotten together and started a hurricane relief for Wilmington, North Carolina, a.k.a. Port City. It's a relief that I initiated and talked to him about and wanted to figure out how to help Wilmington from Hurricane Florence. You can go to savetheportcity.org, buy some merchandise, hoodies, T-shirts, leggings for the ladies. Your purchase goes to the hurricane relief. You can do, if you want to donate funds, Cash App, Save the Port, $ Save the Port. If you want to do PayPal, savetheportcity@gmail. We just released a mixtape led by His Image, a.k.a. Adrian Taylor, my little sis. I don't think she on, but, it's like, what's up? Hey, I messed it up. I knew I would. It's so long, man. It's long. Brian Maurice Digital Imaging and Branding, LLC. That's the company, my company, Artist Studios. So, okay, baby, I see you. I did jack it up. It's just too long, man. It's too long. But yeah, Adrian hit me up. Was like, yo, she want to do a mixtape with a lot of the people in Wilmington that we know. So, Election Shore, Brody Da Vinci, a.k.a. Christian. We have my big homie, Damian from Florida. Everything was based off of his song, Survive. And so I'm missing some people. VA Crisis, Red Rose, His Image and I are in a group together. That's Artist Image. So we got a few acts that really came through and made this mixtape for the Survive, or for the call, excuse me. And you can get that at justthepup.com. Download it for free. It's on SoundCloud. Go to my page, check it out. I also released a song called Florence. It did not make the mixtape, but it is still out. And we just asked, listen, Brian and I just wanted to do something for the city that he was born and raised in. I have spent a lot of time there. My son lives there in Wilmington. I have family in surrounding areas in Wilmington and friends, people that I still talk to today. And so it was like, we got to do something. And I pitched him my idea, and we came up with this. So please support. Check out the Facebook group, Save the Port City. Donate, share, please, y'all. There's a lot of people that are still, as you know, I may be talking to you even right now, that are still trying to rebuild, that lost their homes, that are displaced still from their homes. It's a lot of things that's going on, and we just trying to help any way that we can. So if all you can do is share it, share it. If you can buy a $25 hoodie with the Save Port City logo, buy it. We giving it to the hurricane relief to help these people out. It ain't about us at all. So it's a big cause that I'm really, really, really glad I started. Came out of nothing. And so we're really looking for your support. What else we got going on? December 2nd, here in D.C., Washington, D.C., if you are in the surrounding areas or you just want to come up, I have another set at this place called Pure Lounge. It's probably one of the hottest spots in D.C. where people perform, and it'll be my second time here. So December 2nd, get your tickets at justthepuppet.com. You can get a discount until Friday. So check that out. Tickets are $11. You can get a couple of bucks taken off for that. If you get them at the door, it's $14. So it's still only like a meal, y'all. Like, okay, we ain't asking you to buy like Jay-Z tickets, okay? So support your local artists. Also, I just released my first video, Purpose Over Everything, aka POE. If you've seen it, I appreciate you. Comment, share it. It's all about that purpose, y'all, okay? And then finally, I just want to let y'all know I had some Jastin Artis merchandise. Yeah, I got my logo on a nice hoodie because I love hoodies. You know what I mean? T-shirts. You can check that out at justinpuppet.com too. All right? So, yeah, let's get back into it. I had to break it down to let y'all know what's going on, all right? So I had to go back to somebody's question. I believe it was my love. Let me go back. Okay, so Courtney asked, since the album is out and your story is being told, where do you move next in music? Oh, I was just talking to my homie about this today. So the way my mind works, even though I'm currently have a project that's about to be out and I'm talking about this and that, I already have like 4 projects in the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the phase. It's weird because usually the way most artists work, what the people get is not the place that the artist is in. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much with me. You know, I went through all of this. And yes, there's the aspect of like trying to be with my son is actively happening. So I still have to endure that part of it, but everything else is done with. You know what I mean? So I have an album pretty much ready to go called Love and Darkness. And the principle of the album is just talking about how to love when it's real dark, when you don't want to, when nobody's around. How do you still take care of you when you've been in a dark place because somebody extremely hurt you? Somebody tried to ruin your life, okay? So I'm really excited for that. There's a few other projects that's going on, but I ain't gonna talk about it right now. But you know, it's a juggle, but it's just the way you manage and how you do what you do. You know what I mean? All right. So I'm gonna do one question from Whitney, and I'm gonna play the next record. Okay? The Evolution of an Artist. Yeah, man. Exactly. So listen. Where we at? Is there a means of mending broken marriages? If so, what do you believe is the best way in going about doing it? Excuse me. Oh yeah, Will and Jada's link, part 1. There you go, Harry. You should have posted that at the end, man. They gotta watch me and then go. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read the question again. Is there a means of mending broken marriages? If so, what do you believe is the best way in going about doing it? Communication. Communication and honesty. I think a lot of reasons why marriages don't end up ending is because one or both of you don't want to put forth the effort anymore. I felt like that was the case in mine. There was no more effort. And I always set the expectation in a relationship that the moment that you stop giving effort, the moment this is over. Because a relationship can't work one-sided. It takes two, as they say, right? So the moment that you stop working on you, the moment that you stop loving the person for who they are and not what they've done for you or what they can do for you, you know, these conditions, the relationship is over. Marriage, friendship, anything is over. So the only way to rekindle that is to be honest, to acknowledge what you have done. And that means even to yourself, right? You know, we always want to point the blame, right? And accountability is something that you have to do in a relationship, especially in marriage, right? But we sometimes forget to acknowledge that to ourselves. So if you can do that to yourself, for yourself, then it's easiest to do it to your mate, to your partner. And of course, by doing all of these things, you are what? Communicating. If you can do that, that will put you in the right direction to rekindle your relationship. Now, depending on what it is, who did what to who, and like a lot of that doesn't matter, but you have to be accountable for it, and you have to acknowledge what you've done. Just like when I talk about my story, I'm always saying I take full responsibility for what I did. I could have made better decisions. And those decisions really came down to holding my peace, trying to express how I felt without the anger. At the same time, it was a gradual thing for me. I finally got to a place that I was like, I can't even keep my peace anymore. And that's when I knew I wasn't happy. You know what I mean? But I still found ways to try to express that. I would write notes. I went to therapy. I mean, I did a whole bunch of stuff, y'all. So I think really those are the fundamental things that you do in any relationship. And from there, when you can do those things, vulnerability starts to open up. You start to express more. You start to show those things that are real deep in you. And the person can see it and they say, oh, I had no idea. Because now I'm not looking at you for what you did to me and all these things. I'm looking at you for what you have done, what you've accepted that you've done, whether it was to me, to us, the relationship. And now I see you differently. And now we can move forward. Now I want to express more. Now you want to express more. Now we are in this place where we're expressing how we really feel and communicating because we're being honest and open and acknowledging. Then you take it from there. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm just saying. All right. So we're going to listen to the next song. What's up, B? What up? What up? I'm being Greensboro this weekend, brother. Yeah, you know I'm an Aggie, right? You know. He went to UNCG, y'all. He went to UNCG. I had to say that. Okay, I'm going to answer this question real quick, Harry. He said, had it not been for your marital brokenness, what would have been the theme of your music during this time? I don't really know. The last album that I made prior to this album that year was This Journey. And it was like the evolution of me as an artist, And I actually had some songs on that album that kind of, I think it was like a prequel to what I was about to go through. But I really don't know. I have this particular album that God gave me years ago when I started music, so I might have started that project. But I see now that I couldn't even do that project if I hadn't gone through what I'm going through right now. So yeah. So let me set this song up, y'all. It's called It Fell Apart. It's like the craziest deep song I've ever done thus far. It's real dark, but I love it. And it is pretty much kind of self-explanatory. It fell apart. I expressed some real feelings. It's raw. Harry, going back to your question, it kind of highlights some of the things that I was like, I don't know if I want to say that, just because I've never said anything like that before. But it's the truth. And the integrity that I have is like, in my music, you live and die by that, period. So I'm being a wordsmith and a man of my words. I say what I mean and mean what I say. It was very much like, I don't know. And I had to pray. I had to really pray on some of this stuff. All because I don't want to disrespect her. I don't want them to think differently of me, right? But it was between me and God, and it was like, okay, I can stand by this. You know what I mean? So, vibe out, get your questions ready. Here we go. It fell apart.
Reminisce on love and what it did. Yeah. How did I get this far? Say I live. Yeah. I imagined love once and it became a mistake. Yeah. Fell apart when I chose man over fate. Yeah. Lied on my mind tonight. I need a drug to kill the lights. Sweet dreams, sleep tight. 2015 can't be life. Went through a lot of drama. Yeah, that baby mama. I know she want me back, but that's called karma. Why can I keep my passion down? If it came up, cause my heart drowned. Swimming for a dream in the prophecy. Looking for love, it starts with me. How could it be? It's supposed to be. It all fell apart cause I didn't wanna leave. All on me. Truth in hell, lies will breathe. If I tell it like it is, what you believe. Reminisce on love and what it did. Yeah. How did I get this far? Say I live. Yeah. I imagined love once and it became a mistake. Yeah. It fell apart when I chose man over fate. Yeah. So many tears running, and the pain keep coming. Why can't I live to be so? Why I gotta be drunker with the trauma? Dear Lord, please keep my mama. Daddy beat the cancer, please keep her longer. I didn't kill me cause I wanna be stronger. The word is my armor. You try to take me out, but you gotta hit harder. Reminisce on love and what it did. Yeah. How did I get this far? Say I live. Yeah. I imagined love once and it became a mistake. Yeah. It fell apart when I chose man over fate. Yeah. Hope is my war plan. I'ma make it soon. Lost time with my son. I'ma start here to move. I apologize, not listening. It's ill, you found my words that's sickening. I get it. It's all about positioning. I remember when too vivid, not again. Last words to you. Last time you made a move, I got proof. Snap a picture when you wanna see love in its prime. You forfeited the best man of all time. But I can't still fall apart. Show up over story, it's in my art. Place on my spirit, add me to your heart. Push come to shove. We made out of love. It all fell apart on me. Those kind of thoughts, but he didn't let me do it, homie. Reminisce on love and what it did. Yeah. How did I get this far? Say I live. Yeah. I imagined love once and it became a mistake. Yeah. It fell apart when I chose man over fate. Yeah. Reminisce on love and what it did. Yeah. How did I get this far? Say I live. Yeah. I imagined love once and it became a mistake. Yeah. It fell apart when I chose man over fate. Yeah.
Man, what? What? Yo, I'm telling you, that song is something serious, man. Let me tell you. That song is something serious, okay? Serious. Harry, yes, man. Like, yo, that's one of my favorite joints too, man. Shout out to Outkast, man. The first time I heard this song, I knew I had to do something different on it, you know? So I got the idea that I was gonna do the poetry part on the hook, or as the hook, and then I wanted to distort my voice, and it came out brilliant. Honestly, I think it's probably one of my best songs in that it has that type of vibe, and I think it's like a different type of worship for me too, because, you know, I'm saying stuff that like I've never said before. I'm feeling things that I've never felt before. I felt down before in my life. I felt like, you know, why me? But this one, I mean, I wrote my brokenness. You know what I mean? So it was deep when I wrote it, and every time I hear it, I'm like, yo, like, man. So it's a tough one, but it's so creative, man. Ain't nobody making music like this, y'all. Ain't nobody making music like this. Come on, who you know that can flow, spit, do poetry, play the guitar on the song? Like, who you know? Come on, man. Come on, man. So listen, I'm gonna get to Whitney's question. Where we at? Okay. How do you think those who are onlookers are affected by broken marriages? How can the dots be connected with the ones involved directly and the ones that are being affected? Now, I jumped a little early. What y'all think of the song, man? Tell me about this song real quick. What did y'all think? What did you hear that you was like, yo, I feel that, or ooh, that was crazy? Oh, Young C. Yeah, it's a good question. But before I answer, what's good? What did y'all think of It Fell Apart? What did y'all think? Everyone besides Harry, because Harry already said what he thought. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. The song takes you to where you were when you wrote it. Yeah, it does, man. I don't know if y'all can hear it through the setup, but I put some rain and thunder in it to give you that dark, like, down and out feeling. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would impact the record when it comes on, because it's so spaced out and you really got to find yourself. And then once I start, you get to hear, like, oh, that's what he gonna talk about, So, yeah, man. Who else? Somebody else give me something. What you think of It Fell Apart? What'd you think? Yeah, it definitely is. All right, keep them coming, y'all. If you got something, go ahead and say it. I'm gonna answer this question. So, again, how do you think those who are onlookers are affected by broken marriages? How can the dots be connected with the ones involved directly and the ones that are being affected? Children, siblings, family in general. What? So the first thing that comes to mind is, when you've been to a wedding or you've been married, right? And all these people at your wedding. And either before you get married, during the wedding, and right after. You the person, you said it, right? You always get these people that say, oh my gosh, y'all are so great, call me if you need me. Like, I mean that. Whenever, you need something, let me know. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to just be for real. In my situation, not one person came to me. Not one person came to me to see how I was doing. Now, if y'all was with me last week, and if you weren't with me, I'm going to tell it again, okay? My marriage ended due to a claim of domestic violence, okay? From there, the rumors are, word on the street, that's what they saying in the streets, okay, is that I beat her, I was abusive, I'm gay, I've heard a few more things and I can't think of it right now, okay? So, we talking about some real stuff, right? And these same people that I thought was friends, other married couples, everybody's hearing these things, right? Not one person came to me. Not one person said, like, well, Jay, what happened? Like, even if you're just being nosy, you know what I'm saying? Nobody came to me, picked up the phone, not even my pastor, okay? came to me and was like, yo, what's going on? How are you doing? Not even so much taking sides or anything like that, but just what's up? And so everybody is affected. You know what I mean? And everybody play a role. So I think, you know, when you get married, it's like the ultimate relationship. You know what I'm saying? Um, exactly. Um, everybody plays a role. You know what I mean? But when you get married, your family, your siblings, like all these people play some type of role, because at some point you're going to need those people that said, let me know if you ever need anything. Or, you know, like everybody always had that talk. The guys had to talk with the guys. The women had to talk with the women. Like, girl, when you know, if he messing up, da 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 da, blah, blah, blah. So, everybody plays a role. And to me, what I've learned from my experience is like, don't come to me and say you care about me. Don't come to me and say that you're here for me if I need it. Because when I experienced that, nobody was there. Like, and I'm talking like people outside of like my small, very small circle that I called and told what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about, you know, the people that are from afar, or, you know, your siblings who maybe not live around you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I think the second part of this question is, how can the dots be connected? Well, I mean, I think just like the couple has to set boundaries for their relationship, their family, I think the same type of boundaries need to be set for outside people. And it's not being rude, it's not being mean, but people do a lot of talking and not a lot of action. And so you have to know who's really in your corner and who's not. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, I felt like there were some people that I thought was really in my corner. An hour, you know, as a couple corner. And, I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, I love God. I go to church. I read my word. And my pastor didn't even call me, bruh. The pastor, okay? Like, it's heart-wrenching, man. Like, real talk, it's heart-wrenching. And so I think, you know, as Courtney said, you got to make people accountable. You got to call them out. You know, you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be mean. You know, that's a whole nother conversation. But you have to make people accountable, and then cut people out. If you don't feel like you're being valued, and people are really gonna be there for you, and they just talking, then you gotta let them loose. You know, and I think the other thing too is you know, they always say don't let people in your business and your marriage and all that. That is true. But you know, we all have those people that are involved, that do cover you and your family, and that are there for you and those type of things. I think you got to be honest with those people. Like, I think we're so much trying to cover up what the marriage is going through that we're not vulnerable with the people who are there. So I think that can be detrimental to the core of your circle. You know what I mean? There's a lot on that question, man. There's a lot, but there's some action going on. Let me see. Caesar, what up? I don't have you on Facebook, but I scoot you out on IG, and here I am. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Harry said, women support each other emotionally when one is suffering heartbreak. Who supported you in this time of brokenness? Well, unfortunately, there was a few people, but unfortunately, my best friend Brian, he was going through a similar situation. He had been married longer than me. So honestly, we were hanging out every day. Mind you, I went from, you know, living in my home, 3 kids, a wife, to being homeless, you know, getting kicked out for something that I didn't do. So shout out to my man, Big Chris. Him and his family took me in. The first couple of months that I didn't have a place to stay. So he was there. Then my sis, Adrian, aka his image, she was really like a big deal for me. because we connect on music, and I had a studio at my place when I finally got a new place, from all the drama, and when I finally got to that, like I was excited about getting in my own place because I hadn't done music, but when I got there, I didn't really want to do it. Now God gave me this place, and I got a room to do my thing. I had a new studio set up. Like I mean, I didn't want to do it, and she encouraged me by working on her stuff, and just hit me up. Pretty much when I wasn't with Brian, and we were talking about our situations, and her and I was in the studio. And if I wasn't working. And there was a few people, long distance, people that you love, but you don't talk to all the time. And then when you talk to them, you tell them what's going on. So there was some people like that, but it still got rough because the people that you thought didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all asking the question. Let me get back to Whitney's question. Let me see. What are ways we as a community can approach marriage, more so the young adult generation of 25 to 40 years old? Harry, you better say that, brother. I'm gonna go back, but I just saw that comment. So again, the question is, what are ways we as a community can approach marriage, more so the young adult generation 25 to 40? So for me, again, go to that Red Table Talk, okay? After this, we wrapping up soon. There's fantasy. Marriage is a fantasy to most people. You're taught marriage is this, and your wedding is supposed to be this, and you're supposed to do that, and oh my gosh, and know why you want to do it. Marriage isn't a spectacle. Like, you're witnessing love, right? You're witnessing a covenant. I ain't trying to preach, but you're witnessing a covenant, right? You're witnessing a bond between two people that's supposed to last until even after the day they die. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't a party. This ain't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a celebration, but when you really think about what marriage means, and maybe that's where we start. We have to define what marriage means. And I think that starts with you and your person. And then what you and your person discuss it as and what it's set to be for you two, then everybody else will understand that. And I think we need to really dig into the issues that we have in marriage, which typically are the same issues that we have with ourselves. You know what I mean? And we're not dealing with ourselves, but we get in these relationships and then we mess it up. And we don't want to be accountable for it. So I think those are some ways, again, being honest and being open. But I think we need to talk about, I think we need to redefine what marriage is as a society, as America. I think we need to redefine that. I think there's some traditional things there. Obviously, the Bible is I think key in that. But I think with the Bible too, that people get lost and start making other things from the Bible. Man do stuff and people get confused and they don't really know. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we got to find ways to really make it plain and realistic so people can grab it, especially our young folk, because they may not really understand King James version of the Bible. You know what I mean? So we got to put it in a way that's like, yo, this is what's going down. Do you want her to feel that way? Do you want him to feel that way? No, then they get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to use what they understand in order to get it. So, but then we got to be the example. We got to be the example in our business. We got to be the example in our churches, in our schools, everywhere we go. We have to be the example of what marriage is, what relationship is. You know what I mean? And that's with your friends first. So it goes deeper, man. So let me see. Courtney, like, Courtney, you wrote a book, didn't you? Like, hold up. Since being in a broken marriage and not getting the acknowledgement or support from the saints or the ex, what advice to give to moving forward and getting to a better place to be healed, place better in relationship? So basically saying, like, if you didn't get the support, you know, that you wanted or needed, you know, how do you still move forward? And I think for me, I had to, forgiveness is a daily thing. And I had to forgive myself for feeling like I failed, like the kids and myself and like people that mean a lot to me that, you know, maybe look up to me in certain ways or, you know, just want to see me happy. And it's like, I failed y'all. So I think you have to really start forgiving yourself. And I think that's just a daily thing. Like you, starting out, when I used to think about like what just happened in my life, like am I on TV? Because this don't happen to me. Whenever I got that urge of like, I'm angry, like this is not what I wanted. This is not what I asked God for. This is not my life. I would just tell myself, like, forgive her. You know, reflection is a big thing. You're going to reflect. You're going to think about it. Like, I mean, but in doing that, you got to be honest. You know, and I was tracked back to certain things. Like I kept a journal throughout a lot of when things were getting haywire and things. You know, I went to therapy. Therapy is another good thing. And you just have to be real with yourself, and you cannot hide in other things. Like I could have went out and been a drunk. I could have been out, you know, and been a hoe. Just, you know, get with anybody. If, you know, I'm broken. I want to heal this. So let me do whatever it is that most people do to get through it. You know what I mean? I didn't do none of that. So you got to really sit with you and deal with you. And you'll know when it's time to move forward. You'll know when you're ready for another relationship. But you cannot do it hiding from it with other things like sex, drinking, smoking, working even. You know what I mean? So, let me see. Y'all got me, boy. Y'all saying stuff, man. Yo. All right. What's up, Anita? What's up? Okay. Let me get to Whitney's last question, and let me get to y'all questions, and we're going to wrap up, okay? All right, I appreciate y'all so much for being with me, riding with me. I know we're talking about some heavy stuff, and we played 2 songs. Tonight, we'll be doing 2 more songs next week. Next week's topic will be about co-parenting. So get all your parents, the people that you know that are co-parents, and all of them, let them get on next week, okay? We got 2 more songs next week that is actually kind of in line with the topic, all right? So last question from Whitney B is, do you think people get married for the wrong reasons, have kids together, money advancement, last resort, I don't see why not, which leads to broken marriages? What? Yes, I do. People get married just because other people say y'all look good together, okay? People get married for all them reasons that she named. You know, people plot on you to have what they want, because they don't know what they want. You know what I mean? And I think that's why marriage is so fragile. And I think that's like a reason why a lot of people don't want to get married or call it marriage or do the whole, you know, ring ceremony, sign the paper thing. Because when it's broken, all this legal stuff happens. Like, it's a business. Like, that's what it ends up being. And me personally, you'll never know no until you do something, right? You won't. But you have signs, and you know. And, you know, but then there's situations like mine, I trusted myself. I trusted her. I had some questions. I had some doubts. I was willing to wait. I spoke to her about it. I spoke to the pastor about it. And I decided to trust her. And I got played. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what her motive was, but it doggone sure wasn't to be with me. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? But it wasn't about the same thing for me. You know what I mean? And people are very good at hiding the real. And I got fooled hard, you know. But you live and you learn. You figure out what things, you know, really matter to you, and you tighten things up. You know, you ask the hard questions to people to really find out. You know, the best way to learn who people are is not by what they say, but how they make decisions. Action speaks louder than words, right? But how they make decisions. You learn a lot by how people make decisions and how consistent they are in doing that, how disciplined they are in doing that. So, yeah, marriage is just a cover up for a lot of people, man. Marriage it's like my bow tie. It's something for you to, you know, like, yo, that's dope. I like the pattern on it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about being able to be you 100% of the time for the rest of your life with this person that started from this to now is this. You know what I'm saying? And you've been through everything together. It's not about that. And it's hard to figure out who is really about that. You know what I mean? So let's see. Does your perception of Christians, believers, change due to the lack of no support and really going through with just you and God? What? Yes, it does. Know that. To elaborate a little bit, because that's a great question. I think Christian church folk, we kind of categorize it like that, right? Those are the people that like just go to church because they're trained. You know what I'm saying? They know the word, they read the word, but they're not of the word. They ain't in the spirit. They ain't, you know, it's for show still. You know what I mean? I can see in the spirit. I have a strong discernment, and it's grown, especially because of the situation, and because I was a leader in church, and I was in church. Like, it takes you a while to really gather what you were supposed to learn, and then just looking at people for people. Like, no title makes you better than someone else, but you still like, man, and you know, going to church doesn't make you perfect. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that goes into it that make you like, you know, and I was already like that. I ain't gonna front before, you know, once I got involved in church, you know, it's like, okay, are you really shouting? Or like, is that for show? You know what I mean? Like, again, based on decisions, what do you do? You know, it showed me a lot. And so my discernment has just gotten stronger. I'm still in a place of like where God wants me and where he'll have me. Because, you know, I can't just be somewhere just to be there. And I think that's what a lot of people do. It's tradition. They go and they're not really, it's not really getting to them. It's not going to their spirit. They're not changing their decisions based off of the word they just heard. You know what I'm saying? Based off of the ministry that they're doing, they're not changing their decisions. So what's the point of you going? You know what I mean? You on stage singing and stuff, but you back home doing it again. Nobody's perfect, but like, So, very good question. Very good question. I can go into depth in that all day. In a time of emotional pain, I find that being real is better than being righteous. Better say that, Harry. Church always praying, but never being real. What? Better say that. Marriage has its own meaning, but like love, its meaning is differs based on the individuals. I mean, let me clap for you, Harry. C's, I went through divorce September of last year. My ex killed my music creativity, and I don't know if you went through the same thing since you brought up the studio. Man of God to man of God. I will encourage you in Christ like we brothers should do, all right? Hey, man, I appreciate you, man, and I'm sorry to hear that. And I didn't even know you did music, man. But yeah, I went through it. I actually did talk about that before you came on and watch it on the playback. But do what you feel like you need to do. Find other ways to be creative and to feed you in that way, and the music will come. It did for me, and I thought it was done. I've been doing this for a long time, and I thought I was done because I was that heartbroken. So definitely hit me up, man. We got more to talk about, man. I feel for you. Marriage either brings life or death, and you're never the same after divorce. You are not. But I tell you what, boy, I'm feeling good because me and my lady, like, I love her. She supports me, y'all. It's a beautiful thing, and I pray that I would have that. You know what I mean? So it's wonderful. Geez, y'all, I feel like I'm losing. What's up, Alicia? I just want to make sure I read everybody's comment, man. America is one of the few countries that treat marriage lightly. Christianity is one of the few religions that does the same. True that, true that. Yeah. Okay, y'all. So look, man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. We're going to end here. I really appreciate your time tonight. The Separation album is coming out soon, okay? It is coming out soon. I mean, it's ready to go, but, you know, I'm doing a release party to let y'all hear it, see what the vibe is, seeing how I can help those of you that have experienced what I've experienced, you know what I mean? These are heavy topics. It's real. It's my life. It happened to me. And it's all, you know, it's still love, man, but we got to navigate how to get through this. And there's more men like me, C's, Harry, my boy Brian, that, you know what I mean? We've been through it. If it wasn't for the Lord and good people around us, and our kids, if most of us has kids, dude, I'm telling you, I don't know where we would be, you know. And a lot of people who have experienced divorce are not in a good place. You know what I mean? I'm thankful that I have music. So I appreciate y'all. Next week, Bowtie Wednesday, 8 p.m. Facebook Live. I'm gonna go for my phone this time, y'all. I don't know what happened the first time tonight, but I did start on time. But I appreciate y'all. Visit justthepublic.com. Check out the Never Will single. It's out now. And share this video. Peace and love.